Okay, good morning, everybody. Welcome back to this week's lesson of English for biology students. This week, I want to focus on, well, you just saw the title, Meditation or Western Medicine. And the reason why I want to focus on this week is because, well, 2 weeks ago, we talked about physical health. So we saw the movie about Morgan Spurlock and his 30-day eating of McDonald's food, and it almost killed him. But it was a great portrayal of how people in the West eat, their lifestyle, their eating habits. Last week, we focused on mental health and how the self-isolation affects vulnerable people. So, for example, seniors or homeless people, even people in prison. This week, I want to look at spiritual health. And so that's why I decided to look at some stuff about meditation. I'll tell you your assignment at the end of this presentation. It's not very difficult. And in fact, it might be kind of fun as well. So don't worry, I'm not going to make you guys meditate or anything like that. But if you do want to meditate, I thoroughly recommend it. I was, for a long time, I was very skeptical. But then later in life, I was led to, I was shown some meditation techniques and some practices, and that if you do practice it, you do actually learn it, you get better, and you feel better about yourself. Anyways, let's get into our lesson here. Okay, so the first question that I can ask all of you is, where does meditation have its origin? So where does it come from? So think about that for a moment here. Well, meditation actually comes from India, and it was formed a very, very long time ago. So we can see here that the oldest documented evidence of the practice of meditation are wall arts. So it's like, you would find in ancient Egypt, the hieroglyphics, all the drawings, all the archives of all the history. Was found also in the Indian subcontinent, and they go back many, many years. So you can see from 5,000 to 3,500 years before Christ. So, and this shows people in meditative postures with half-closed eyes. So if we look at the dictionary definition of meditation, it means to reflect upon, okay? So to think back on something. This is a great word, to ponder, okay? To zamishlat, okay? When you think about something very deeply, or the next one here, contemplate, okay? Which is very similar to ponder, okay? Making a decision or thinking deeply in order to make a decision. It can also denote devotional exercise, okay? So meditation is exercise. We've seen the images of people in the yoga position, okay? So it's an exercise of contemplation or contemplative discourse, okay? Discourse means discussion, okay? Or conversation of a religious or philosophical nature. Now, the word meditate, it comes from the Latin word meditare, which means to think about or to consider, okay? Med is the root of this word and means to take appropriate measures, okay? This is a very popular word in today's discourse, okay? Discourse, conversation, discussion. Measures, it doesn't mean in this sense like measurement, like mierat, but it means, I think you say opatrenia, okay? So from the government, okay, government measures. Now, in our culture, in Western culture, here in Europe, now to meditate can be interpreted in several ways. So in English, for example, probably in Slovak too, you might meditate on, or you might consider a course of action, okay, regarding anything, okay? If you have to make a decision or you're worried about some future, something in the future. So It could be about your child's education if you have children, okay? It could be, you might be thinking about your own education as a student of biology, okay? Even a career change, anything like that. Even, like wanting to change your educational path. Maybe you want to study something different. Or maybe what you're studying now in biology isn't exactly what you were looking for, and you just want to go in a different direction. So it can be anything, even viewing a powerful movie or play. Okay, so you might be moved to meditate upon or ponder, for example, the moral issues that plague. Okay, plague is a mor. I don't know how to use this in Slovak, okay? But when something plaguing, okay, it means like it's invading, okay? It's invasive or something, okay? So anything like that, okay? To meditate is to think very, very deeply, to ponder and to contemplate something. So either to make a decision or maybe not even to make a decision, okay? Okay, so you've probably heard of Buddhism, okay? I don't know if you know this, but it is the world's fourth largest religion, and there are over 520 million followers, okay? So that's 7% of the global population. And a person who follows this religion is called a Buddhist, okay? So the H is silent, Buddhist. Now, Buddhism encompasses a variety of traditions, beliefs, and spiritual practices, and it's basically it's based on the original teachings attributed to the Buddha. Okay, so Buddha, of course, was a man. He walked on earth. Okay, and he taught people the lifestyle of Buddhism. Okay. Buddhism is more of a practice, a spiritual connection, rather than an organized religion. Okay, so its origins were in ancient India. We know when, and there are actually two major extant branches of Buddhism. Okay, there's the Theravada, okay, which is the school of the elders, and the Mahayana. Okay, so in Sanskrit, that's the great vehicle. Okay, what I want to do now is I want to play a recording of a British guy that's reading from a text, or he's talking about an article on some research, basically a study that was done regarding meditation as an effective painkiller. In fact, actually, that meditation does relieve pain. So I'm going to play the tape. You can listen to the man speak, and you can read along while he speaks. Hang on a second here.
Meditation can be better at relieving pain than the best pain-relieving drugs, according to a new report published in the Journal of Neuroscience. The study into the effects of the mind and pain was led by Dr. Fadel Zeidan in the USA. The research looked at a technique called focused attention, which is a form of meditation where people focus their thoughts only on their breathing. Dr. Zeidan said, "This is the first study to show that only a little over an hour of meditation training can dramatically reduce both the experience of pain and pain-related brain activation." Zeidan added, "We found a big effect, about a 40% reduction in pain intensity and a 57% reduction in pain unpleasantness." The study involved a group of volunteers who had never meditated before. They attended 4 20-minute classes to learn about focused attention. Before and after the meditation training, the researchers examined the participants' brain activity using MRI, magnetic resonance imaging. During the scans, a heat device was placed on their leg to create pain. The MRI scans showed that after the meditation training, pain felt by every volunteer decreased from between 11 to 93%. Zeidan compared these results to medicines, saying, Meditation produced a greater reduction in pain than even morphine or other pain-relieving drugs, which typically reduce pain by about 25%.
Okay, then. So the key word is focused attention. So when you focus primarily on your breathing, it reduces the level of pain. And as the doctor said, I think Dr. Zaidan, it's even more effective than drugs like morphine, which is a very strong painkiller. Okay, so I want to look at a few things here. I'm just going to go through a couple exercises just to check your comprehension. So the first thing I really want to look at is what do you think is the best way of relieving pain? Okay, so this is something we would do with a partner in the class, but seeing as everybody's at home, I just want you to think about a few things then. Okay, so we heard about meditation, that it is effective. What about sleep? What about Western medicine? Okay, the Ibalgine, that's a great one. The Nalgene, I think, the naproxen, morphine, or even these synthetic painkillers that are very, very dangerous in North America, in the USA and in Canada, such as OxyContin, the oxycodone, okay, this type of drug that is very highly addictive. What about alcohol? Okay, these days alcohol consumption is going up, not just in Slovakia, everywhere in the world with self-isolation. What about massage? What do you think about that? Okay, what about Eastern medicine? Okay, not just Eastern medicines like the herbs and spices and things like that, but what about Eastern practices like acupuncture, for example? What about time? Okay, what do you think? Is time a great way for relieving pain? Think about that, okay? And what about the over-the-counter drugs? Okay, so again, the Western medicine, the Ibalgine, and so on. Okay, I want to look at some of the vocabulary here. Okay, so for example, this first one, relieving. I think it's ulavit in Slovak. Okay, so from this side here, okay, what would be the best one? Okay, dramaticky, training, okay, practice, and so on. Okay, we can do it together. Okay, so relieving is probably getting rid of. Dramatically, okay. What would that one be then? Probably considerably, okay? Podstate. Training, okay? What would that one be then? Training is also teaching. Intensity, okay? Intensity is probably the strength. Reduction, what would that one go to? We know that reduction is lowering. So maybe a cut, okay? To cut something, right? Strihat or strihnut, okay? What about volunteers? Dobrovolnici. Okay, so they could be our helpers. What about attended? Yeah. Achko, joined, okay? So I attended a course last week, means I joined a course. Placed, okay? To place something, polojit, is also to put. Compared, okay? So we're getting to the end here. Related, okay? And typically, okay? Something that is normally. Okay, so to test your comprehension a little bit more thoroughly, we're going to do a phrase match. It's really, really easy. We can do it together. Okay, so these are all words that came from the text. Look at number one. The best pain would be that one there. The best pain relieving drugs. Okay, so the best pain relieving drugs, that's morphine and the oxycodone and things like that. look at number 2, published in the journal of neuroscience. What about 3? People focus their thoughts only on their breathing. Only on their breathing. Okay, so that's that focused attention. What about 4? A little over an hour of, just a little over an hour of, yes. Okay, so that would be meditation training. Sorry, I couldn't find it there. Meditation training. What about 5 then? A 57% reduction in, pain unpleasantness. Okay. What about 6? A group of volunteers. Good. 7. They attended four 20-minute classes. Great. Researchers examined the participants. What can that be? There's only 3 left. Yes, of course. The brain activity. And then 9, pain felt by every volunteer decreased. And then finally 10, meditation produced a greater reduction in pain, Good, Okay, so now I want to go through some of the different ways of how to meditate. And there's going to be a couple of new words in there, especially words that aren't even English. They're actually Hindi words, okay? But they're used in Western meditation as well. So I'm just going to go over these 5 different ways of how to meditate. Let's have a look here. Okay, so number 1, the first way of meditation. Okay, so that's the use of sound. So this word might be familiar to you, a mantra, okay? Mantras are used not just in yoga. Yoga is the physical side, okay? Yoga and meditation go hand in hand. Mantra employs the use of a particular sound, okay, or a phrase or an affirmation as a point of focus, okay? So it comes from man, which means to think, okay, kind of like med, and tra, which suggests instrumentality. So therefore, mantra is an instrument of thought, okay? So it also has come to mean like protecting the person who receives it. Okay, so there are all kinds of mantras that people can say. Traditionally, you can only receive a mantra from a teacher, okay, one who knows, okay, somebody who the knower, okay. In Hindi, it's the guru. Guru means teacher, okay. So have a look here at some of these mantras. Okay, so let's move on to number 2. The use of imagery, which is very popular in meditation. So I'm just going to read to you a little bit how using an image will help you. It's an aid in your meditation. Okay, so visualizing is a great way for meditation. Okay, so one that beginners often find very easy to practice. So traditionally, a meditator, a person who is meditating, visualizes his or her chosen deity. Okay, a deity is a god. Okay, a god or a goddess in vivid, okay, jivi or lively, okay, and detailed fashion. In this case, fashion means sposob, okay? Essentially, any object is valid. Now, I want to look here then at this word, at the chakras. Okay, so some practitioners visualize a natural object, for example, such as a flower or the ocean. And other people, they meditate on these chakras. Now, chakra is an energy center in the body, and typically there are actually 7 chakras. I'll show it to you in a moment here. Basically, so you're going to focus on the area of the body or an organ, okay, like your lungs or liver or your heart, okay, especially the heart, that corresponds to a particular chakra. Okay, so you also have to imagine the color that's associated with it. Okay, so I'm just going to show you a couple of images of chakras here. Okay, so let's move on to our third way of meditating, which is gazing. Gazing. Gazing just means looking or staring at something, okay, watching. Okay, so when you meditate, you don't always have to have your eyes closed. You can actually have your eyes open, okay? And you can focus on some kind of object, okay? So you can bring that object into the room, or if it's already in the room, just find something that pleases your eye, okay? This is called the drishti, the view, the opinion, or the gaze, okay? So that's the Hindi word, okay, for watching, for gazing. So again, the choices available to you here are limitless, okay? Bez obmedzenie, okay? There is no limit to anything. So for example, a candle is a very popular form of method. Or you can focus on a flower in a vase, a statue, the statue of the Buddha is very, very popular. Even a picture of a deity, okay, Shiva, okay, who is part of the Trinity in Hinduism, is a very popular god to focus on. Or Ganesh, maybe you know Ganesh, who is the son. Actually, Ganesh is the son of Shiva. Ganesh is the elephant with the many arms. Okay, so moving on, let's look at number 4, which is breathing. Okay, so as the text said earlier, the focused attention on breathing is probably the best way to relieve pain. Okay, there was, the studies showed that it was even more effective than using morphine. Okay, so breathing in meditation, I don't want to read all of it though, but this is the sole object, okay, the goal of your meditation, because you observe every nuance of each breath and each sensation that your breath produces, okay? So how it moves your abdomen, okay, your torso is another word for your body, right? Your abdomen is your belly area. How it feels as it moves in and out of your nose, okay? So yes, when you inhale, when you exhale, its quality, its temperature, and so on, okay? So yeah, even though you are fully aware of all the details, okay, you don't dwell on them or judge them in any way, okay, you still remain detached, okay, odpojeni, from what you're observing, okay? So what you discover is not good or neither good nor bad. You simply allow yourself to be with the breath from moment to moment. Okay, and finally, the last way of meditation, number 5. So these are the physical sensations. Okay, so I should also point out it's not just so much the physical sensations, but also the emotional sensations that we feel in our body, okay? The first part, though, dealing with the physical, is that in this context, you will look at or penetrate a particular sensation that, that draws your attention. So maybe your hands feel very hot, or maybe they feel very cold, okay? Maybe you have some pain somewhere, and it's a good time to actually focus on that pain, okay? So with regards to emotion, okay, well, or any other specific area of discomfort, yeah, it's also a possibility. So whatever you choose, it has to be the point of focus for the entire practice, for the whole session of meditation. Now, you might find that observing a physical sensation can be more challenging than observing the breath, okay? So if you have a headache and you think about that headache, about relieving that headache, okay, this might be more difficult than just, following your breath, okay? Because you want that headache to go away, and it keeps coming back bit by bit. And so it becomes harder and harder to actually focus on it, okay? Because you don't want to focus on the pain, you want to focus on the cure. Now, if you have the emotional part, okay, if you're a beginner, and I wouldn't just say that for a beginner, but for all people practicing meditation, so mantras or chants, I think the mantra is probably the best one, and the visualization. So thinking about mountains, or even looking at a picture of a mountain or the deity, something like that. Basically, they help calm your scattered thoughts that are in our minds, okay? So many people, we're always thinking about something. In this day, we have a lot of stress. We worry about money. We worry about our jobs. We worry about our education, our exams, and so on. Okay? So this is our sensory overload. We just have too many things going on in our mind. Okay? So if we say the mantra, or if we chant something, if you want, or if you just want to visualize that calm and peaceful place, then yeah, it helps really, take those thoughts, stop scattering them, puts them more into perspective, into order, and you've achieved meditation. Okay then, so thank you very much for watching this lesson on meditation. So this is the third part of health. Okay, so we looked at physical health, we looked at mental health, and now we looked at a bit of spiritual health. Okay, so your task is you're going to debate. Okay, think of this question. So as a scientist, are you for meditation or against it? All I want you to do this week is list as many reasons as you can for against it or for it, okay? And have a look and at your list. Do you have more reasons to be against it, or do you have more reasons to be for it? Okay, thank you very much, guys, for watching this week's lesson on meditation. I'll have your posters, feedback form sent to you, I think today I should have it. I think I'll have enough time. I'm still getting also your homework from last week's task as well. So please don't forget to submit that to me as well. And if you can, think of these reasons for and against, write them down and send them to me. I'm interested, in fact, in finding out how many people are for it and how many people are against meditation as a replacement, to Western medication or over-the-counter drugs and surgeries and things like that. Okay, everybody, take care of yourselves. Have a safe week, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.